Hello, YouTube. Before you join iGenius, watch this video on the topic of deception, which I believe is central to most of MLM. A typical question in iGenius that you will get at the beginning of an interaction with them is, uh, are you interested in learning what I do, or are you just supporting me? Now, imagine that this conversation is happening in real life or even in a chat on one of the social media platforms. For example, two strangers are sitting in a bar, and the first one asks the second one, "So, what do you do?" Now, there are several approaches that guy number two could take. He could, for example, A, tell the truth. You could say, like, I own a cleaning company. He could fabricate, exaggerate, or outright lie and say something like, I own an AI startup. But what if instead he says neither the truth nor a lie, and he says, sorry, that information is personal. I mean, where would your mind go? What would you think? Why isn't this, what is so personal about the job that you do to make money? And I have a quick digression. True story. Before I could speak Portuguese, a Brazilian mother brought a friend who spoke English to the office to translate for her. And I asked the friend, I said, so what do you do? And she said, oh, this and that. And it happened. I had a very small office that my secretary overheard. And later she laughed and she whispered in my ear, says, Dr. Lindemann, she's a stripper. Now, sex work is work. These ladies work very hard and they come by their money honestly. I can understand why in the context of this office visit, which was a pediatrics office, it might not be the best idea to announce that you're a stripper because the conversation might come to an abrupt halt, but you never know. In any case, that's where my mind goes when someone just says, that's really kind of personal. I would think that you're doing not sex work, but something frankly illegal, like I'm an arms dealer. I'm a human trafficker. Let's get back to our story. There is a segment of the team Game Changers, which calls themselves Game Changers Champions. There may be more than one of this, but they are located in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. And this is a team that I have been focused on for about 3 years. That is from late 2021 to now early 2025. And this is one of them who I check in on personally. I'm going to try to hide their personal information. I don't think that it's possible to find them based on what I've written here, but for the love of God, folks, it's not about them. It's about MLM. So please do not try to seek this person out and engage with them in any way. This person is a native of Africa, brought up in Toronto. And this is his LinkedIn page. His LinkedIn page says that his Instagram page, he's bringing the third world to the first world. I understand what he's trying to say. He probably should have said he's bringing the first world to the third world, because I'm not sure that bringing the third world to the first world is going to have the desired effect. And in any case, and then finally, uniting Africa through the power of trading. The business about uniting Africa has a storied and unfortunate past. There has been a Pan-Africanist movement which has ended in tears, but that is a topic for another day, and one that I would need to research anyway because I'm not a historian. I just know that uniting Africa might not have the same resonance for a young man such as the one we're talking about now, but it does for someone of a certain age. If you click on the link that is at this same Instagram page, you're led to a beacons page, which is sort of a link tree, a way of finding some other people's some other presences on the internet. And this gentleman has three. A Telegram channel. If you click the second one, you go to the same or a similar channel, and you're asked to type the word elevate. And then the last one, $30 in free crypto. I was intrigued about what that was. It turns on, it's a referral page for an application called Shake Pay, which is based in Canada, and it is a way to buy, sell, and store Bitcoin and Ethereum. And you, in fact, don't get $30 for signing up. You get $20. Okay, so that is the introduction. And here is the Telegram conversation that I had with this gentleman. I texted Elevate, and this is now a Telegram chat, at 8:11 in the morning. 3 minutes later, he responds, "Hey, thanks for reaching out. What brings you to my Telegram?" And I said, "Curiosity," which is true. And then he sends a voice text message, and the transcript of it is this. "Okay, cool. Can I ask which platform you originally saw me on to get my Telegram?" And I said, "IG, that's Instagram." And "How come?" I asked him. I said, "Well, I have many platforms that I was posting different content on. So I want to have an idea of what made you curious." Now, this is good marketing, right? I mean, I should probably do this when prospects come to me, ask them, was it a personal referral? Was it Google? It's only the two ways that I advertise. But that's just best practices. So good on him. Then he says, "Were you looking to learn what I do or just supporting?" Now, remember, this is the typical line that particularly iGenius distributors are encouraged to say. And then I just ask a kind of a random question. I said, "You have a full-time job, correct?" And he said, "Yes. Is that what you're curious about?" And I respond, "Yes." And then he says this about 7 minutes later. "Okay, so just so I have it clear, are you looking for information on how to start your own online business? Are you looking for information on trading? Or are you looking for information on how to find a job?" And I responded, "I'm only asking what you do full-time, your 9 to 5. And here's how he responds. He says, "Why?" I say, "Curiosity," again. And then he says, "Curiosity, eh? Sorry, that information is personal." So I go to his LinkedIn page, and he describes himself as an originator, brand enthusiast, and team-oriented from the greater Toronto area. He might actually be in Mississauga. I don't know if he's in Toronto, downtown Toronto proper. And here is his About page. "Hi there, it's a pleasure to have you land on my profile. I grew up as a jack of trades, meaning I was just about average in many aspects of life, but was never great at one thing. Many of you may or may not be able to relate, but for me personally, I knew something had to change. Seeking true success, I discovered that it was far more effective to develop a strong skill set that I could monetize. I spent 2020 focused on investing in my own personal development and improving my mindset through books and research. With confidence, I am determined to inspire and impact the lives of all that I come across. I look forward to connecting with you. A little about me. I am a huge sports fan. Basketball is my favorite sport. I am a travel enthusiast. I am a fitness fanatic. A quote for thought. At the center of your being, you have the answer. You know who you are and what you want." And that is attributed to Lao Tzu, the author of The Art of War. And I'm not sure if Lao Tzu actually ever said that. Doesn't matter. Under his education, he is a graduate of York University, a fine university in Toronto, Canada. He received a Bachelor of Arts in kinesiology and exercise science. Solid background, graduated in 2019. But remember, he said in 2020 is when he began to invest in personal development. It's not really clear that he did anything with his exercise science degree. In fact, this is what he lists that he currently does, that he currently is a warehouse associate at the Home Depot. And while he was in college, he worked part-time at Wonderland in Vaughan, Canada, and did sales for the North Face, which sells outdoor equipment. Now, I want to make something very clear. There is no shame in working at Home Depot. They're a fine employer. They are a huge employer here on Cape Cod. But for some reason, deception had been so baked into this young man. I say young man. You can see from his graduation that at this point in 2025, he is in his late 20s. But he is somehow incentivized to be deceptive about what he does, for crying out loud. MLM incentivizes deception to the point where you are encouraged to be deceptive about your real job when you talk to a stranger. I don't know, because if you tell the truth when pitching the opportunity, prospects will likely beg off. And so you must be deceptive. Deception, in fact, is the core competency in MLM. Folks, whatever job you do, your skills, knowledge, and experience are way too valuable to waste in an MLM. That's all I got. I'll see you in the next one.